Welcome back to a very delirious Where Pompey Walk this week. We've got 4 very happy Blues in town, having been to London twice and picked up 6 points. What an amazing week. Who saw this coming? This week we're focusing on how brilliant Marlon Pack is, where would it be about Ebo Adams, John Messinio and Gustavo. He looks a player and a half. What a performance at Millwall this week. How are you all doing? Great to have your company. We're going to jump straight into it. Plus, we've got the A to Z of Pompey coming up with letter Q. I don't know how they're going to find anything this week for that. Plus, we're also talking about who do we want coming up from League One as an away day next year in the Championship. Right, let's jump into it then, Sasha. 2 trips to London for the Blue Army this week. I mean, they've both, by the way, both sets of fans, Charlton and Millwall, have said best set of fans to visit the Den and the Valley respectively. So credit to them. Did you see this coming? A 6-point week away from Fratton Park?
No, definitely not. But I thought, by the way we have performed over the last few weeks, it shouldn't come as too much of a shock. I mean, getting 6 points away in a season, let alone in the space of 1 week for us, is pretty impressive. So, yeah, we'll take it all day, especially when it comes to survival. It's vital. I think it's going to make a difference for us. Yeah, and when you look at it on paper, Millwall third in the league. Going away from home to Millwall was going to be a big ask, but I thought we played brilliantly. And to be honest, if any team looked like they were pushing for promotion that day, it looked like it was us. I thought we nullified Millwall pretty much all game. And yes, I don't think they expected it to be as difficult as it was for them.
Bro, cheers, Sasha. Live from Weatherspoons as well. So if your food arrives, just let us know. We'll come past you. Right then, Phil. I mean, many fans are saying the obvious, which is, look, Ebu Adams is the reason we're playing so well here. But is there more to it than just one single player?
To be honest, there's a lot to do with Ebu Adams because having his legs and energy in the midfield completely changes the profile of his partner besides. So having Pack there. So we've criticised Pack before about his lack of speed and legs, etc. But Ebu Adams does his running and then some more, and it allows Pack to play his game, which is getting on the ball and controlling the game. And it also has an impact on the number 10 as well. So, and Swift coming in as well in the number 10, it's almost like a double impact. So we've got a bit more guile, we've got a bit more height. But yeah, it's been an incredible turnaround, so I'm absolutely delighted.
Yeah, stunning. Let's look at some social media takes then, shall we? Jack says, I love Marlon Pack and I want the world to know it. Jay Shaw says he's a future Pompey boss, and Neil echoes that future Pompey manager right there, getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Bristol City A to Z for P last week, Jake, put Marlon Pack straight in there without any questions. Do some Pompey fans owe him an apology?
Yeah, I think so. I think his quality's always been there to see. I often think when you've got like a local player, they get more criticised than anyone else. I'm not sure why that is. And because he's a Pompey lad, I think he's under the spotlight a little bit more. But yeah, I'm buzzing for him. So happy for him that he's played well. And as Phil said, I think having Adams next to him just frees him up a little bit. He doesn't have to worry as much about that side of the game as, getting up and down the pitch. He can just relax and then just orchestrate things. But yeah, I mean, I can see why people are saying he's a future manager as well, because he is influential. You can see on the pitch, he's sort of telling people where to be, a little bit like what Matt Ritchie did last year. He's sort of taken that role over this year, and he's done it really well. So yeah, really happy for him. He's doing really well.
Yeah. Just staying with you, Jake, for a second, just while we're on apologies. Do we owe this guy an apology as well? Where's it gone? Oops, there he goes. Oh, no, that one. This one. James Peddle says, weird. Swift gets played in the correct position the last 2 games and plays bloody well in both. Who would have thought it?
Yeah, again, as Phil said, I remember when we signed Adams, I actually put on the group chat, I said, this is going to be brilliant for Swift because he's going to do his running for him. When we signed Swift at the start of the season, I knew he was going to be a little bit of a luxury player, and Pompey fans are a bit funny with luxury players because they like to see people charging the left back down, and if we charge him down and like give a throw-in away in the corner, half the stand is standing up and buzzing, and so and Smith's never going to do that. But what he does well is he'll let Adams win the ball, get on the ball, and technically he's so good and he creates so much. And that came through in the Charlton game and in the Millwall game. I thought he was brilliant. and playing in the right position. He's never going to be like a CDM. He's never going to be battling and winning headers and winning balls. So he's best in that 10 role. I know he's got legs in behind him. He's just going to get better and better, I think.
Sam, what's been your favourite goal of the week then?
Goal of the week has to be Gustavo Caballero's goal. It was amazing. Like just that knock on from Bishop, and then his speed. The commentary that I was watching from Lee Brown, I can't say it on here, but it was amazing. And then the speed that he produced, and then the way that he was able to react off the save was awesome. And then I think most Pompey fans are going to be learning Spanish now as well. So yeah, that was definitely the goal of the week so far.
Yeah, and lots of tweets I could have pulled out on Caballero. I like this from Frat and Fred. He says, Caballero, Sam has got Thierry Henry pace. Absolutely crazy. This has gone from a team bullied away to Shaz FC. Like that a lot. Yeah, I mean, pace. I mean, Thierry Henry pace. I mean, is that being kind to him or?
Yeah, I think so. Not many players stack up to Thierry Henry, but yeah, he's got pace to burn, and that's what we need in the championship, right? Like pace to burn. So yeah, he's definitely pretty quick.
Okay. Sasha, you weren't here last week when we were talking about Bishop. It was quite negative because the fans were piling on him. How's he done this week for you? Obviously took his penalty well, but overall contributions?
I think he's been actually huge for us, especially in the last 2 games. I mean, he got his goal against Charlton, his second league goal of the season. But, that could be something that kicks him on to get a few more. If we can finish the season with 5 goals, that's better than we probably would have expected about 2 weeks ago. So hopefully it just kicks him on. And he was massive in the first goal we scored at Millwall. The way he holds off the player and stops him from running onto the loose ball, which allows Gustavo to just run on and just... His pace was incredible when he finished. But I'm surprised Sam didn't mention Terry Deppin's second goal against Charlton for goal of the week. That was a cracker. That was a good bang of a goal.
Yeah.
We're not used to having too many to choose from, are we? I think that's
I did think of you, Sasha, in the stands when that went in. I thought you were going to be absolutely salivating at the mouth with your favourite players. Sam, can we talk? Phil, can we talk centre back pairings? If that's all right. Have we settled on the best ones now?
Well, I think they've deserved their place. I mean, you can't ask for much more than how they've played, to be honest. And I was half expecting for Moose to potentially bring back Shaughnessy in the next couple of matches, but I'll be honest, I don't think he deserves a place. I think that the guys have played well enough to say, keep on going. And it's good that obviously we've got Swanson covering at left back as well, so Ogilvie can stay at centre back. So yeah, I would say keep the back 5 as it is. In fact, keep the whole team, to be honest. But
yeah, social media tweets to back that up. Oops, sorry, I've added the wrong one again. Come on. Joe says, absolutely superb, every one of them. Man of the match for me personally was Regan Poole. I'll come to you, Jake, for that in a minute. But him and Ogilvie surely have become our best centre-back pairing. And Phil, you're nodding along with that one. Can't fault any of them. And then, Bishop had a first spot. I love Pompey fans. Even though everything's great, we're still bashing Bishop. No comments. Poor lad. Can't even catch a break. Yes, Jake. Regan Poole. Discuss.
Oh, he's brilliant. I think he's mustard. He's like a bit of a Rolls Royce back there, especially the sort of second part of this season. He's just been brilliant for us. And he's had to be, really, because he's had 4 or 5 different centre-back partnerships, and each time he steps up and played really well. And I agree with that tweet. I think he probably was man of the match against Millwall. Even like on defensive corners, they had 2 absolute beasts at centre half, and a few times he's sort of beat them to the ball, and just the way he reads the game as well. After his injury, was it last season or season before, when he was out for absolutely ages, I think it took him a little bit of time to adjust coming back, but now he has. He's just brilliant. Yeah.
I think it was a run of Ivanovic from Millwall always scoring against Pompey or something like that, I read. Stop that run. Right, Sam, final one for you then. Robbie says, Ali and Gus were sublime. Swanson let absolutely nothing go through down his side. All the defenders brilliant too. This is Pompey FC, a team that doesn't cower in times of crisis. We are not getting relegated, period. Yeah. Sam?
Well, yeah, I think Well, I looked at the table yesterday. We're on 39 points. We need the magic 50 to stay up, which means we got 11 points to get. After seeing the last two games that we played, I don't think getting those 11 points is not a problem. Actually, what worries me is our home form, which actually worries me quite a bit. But yeah, I think we can be more comfortable than we have been in the past couple of weeks, saying that we're going to stay up. And yeah, that magic 50 is the target now. So
it'd be a shame you weren't running into Wrexham, wouldn't it, on Tuesday night, who were just smashing the goals in themselves, and then an out of sorts whole side Sasha on Saturday, who are dropping down the form table like a stone.
I mean, with that Wrexham game, it's quite funny because you look at Wrexham's form and that would normally scare us, but you've got to flip it. They're going to look at us, back-to-back away wins, and it's one against third best team in the league. I don't think they're going to see it as an easy game. And I think when we played them at Fratton Park earlier on in the season, we were the much better side. We absolutely dominated them from start to finish, essentially. We're just unlucky not to get a goal. So it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. I don't expect it to be as smooth as the Millwall game was. I think a point would be brilliant, especially when they've just, ripped Ipswich apart. If we can get a point at Wrexham, that'd be incredible. And then just come back to Fratton Park and see if we can finish off the business over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, good. And we need to shout out Mousinho, Phil, don't we, towards the end, because he's just out-tacticked two very experienced Championship managers in Nathan Jones and I mean Alex Neil is crikey in terms of number of games he's managed in the Championship. Where do you think the fan base are with him now?
Yeah, again, we're very supportive of him, but we say he does have faults, and I think his substitution and some of his lineups have been a bit suspect, shall we say. But I think I'll be honest, Caballero as a signing for me was pretty critical. And it's easy to say after the last couple of games as well, but Segatic, I like, but to have him trying to play on the right was where our weak spot was. And, in a team not scoring goals, you could see why when you've got a player that hasn't got a right foot and doesn't really cross the ball in much. So, yeah. But no, fair play to Mousinho. He's found it. He's found something. So as long as it continues that way.
I've got to say, on our Luton podcast, they're asking if they could have Ali back, please. Because, they're desperately missing him. Right.
I have to say, sorry, Milanic Ali has been absolutely phenomenal. Unbelievable. We talk about Josh Murphy as our player of the year last year. I'll be honest, I haven't really thought about Murphy because everything that Murphy does, and in some ways a bit more, Ali's been doing. I guess he's just lacking a little bit of goal scoring, perhaps. But yeah, fair play to Ali. He has been outstanding.
I did see a tweet where it was like, "Does Murphy get back into the side?" And we were like, "It's hard to disagree with that, actually."
Wow. Who'd have thought we'd be saying that in December when we're all just crying out to get back? Fantastic. Great week for Pompey. Great to see smiles on faces as well. And great to see Pompey putting some distance between themselves, of course, and that dreaded bottom three. We've got West Brom and Leicester fans to talk to later this evening. They are convinced, both sets of fans, that they're going down as well. So, fingers crossed, a couple more points and we'll be safe. We've got us thinking about League One, Jake, who we'd like to see come up in terms of away trips. Cardiff and Lincoln look like they're already there, but who would you look at there and go, yeah, it's quite fancy, it'd be good to have them back in the division?
Not Plymouth, because they created some sort of dockyard derby thing that it isn't there. So definitely not them. Maybe Reading. It's a bit of a dull away day, a bit of a dull team, but it's not that far away. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Reading back. And Paddy Lane and Matt Ritchie back at the park as well. It'd be good to see them both.
I mean, you're a Barclays purist, Jake. I thought you'd want Bolton back and, have them sort of teams back. No.
Yeah, but they've been down there a little while as well. They're a bit like us, aren't they? We were down there for so long, you sort of almost forget about the glory days. Obviously, they've got the JJ Okocha, Ivan Campo days, I suppose, back in the Premier League. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing them back as well, actually. Okay. Yeah, Go on, we'll give Bolton a shout.
All right. Sam, what about you?
I would have either gone Reading or Luton because we seem to own London right now. So any of those teams, I think, would be fine.
Sasha?
I actually want Stockport to go up. I actually think it's a really good little club. It's a ground I've never been to before. They've got decent support. And to be honest, for the last 10 years, I'm fed up of playing teams like Bolton, Plymouth. I just can't be asked to deal with them anymore. And they think they're way bigger than what they are, every single one of them. So Lincoln's all right. I hope Lincoln do go up. They're a nice club as well. But for me, I just want to go to Stockport away.
Okay. I'll do your deal. Stockport away is like 5 miles down the road. So if that happens, we'll go to Wetherspoons. I'll buy you all a meal and a pint and a pie. You can get me a away ticket in the way end, and let's see what it's all about. Okay. Phil, what about you?
Yeah, Stockport as well for me. Very similar reasons as Sasha. A new club, new away day. So yeah, I like them.
Okay. Let's see what happens then, shall we? Away from Pompey a little bit, we've had some articles this week, quite good ones actually, talking about football just in general, about whether we're falling out of love with it a little bit as a nation. Just want to get your very quick views on that as a group. Obviously, you talk to Pompey fans and talk to your workmates and family. Jake, do you get a sense that there is a growing divide between the modern game and the average fan? And if so, why?
Yeah, not within the Championship and League One, League Two, I don't think. I think Premier League there is. I think just because there's such a big divide probably between the top four and the rest of it, and also the VAR thing with not being able to properly celebrate a goal until 15 minutes after it actually gone in because they've had to look at it so many times. But I still think from the Championship down, even into non-league, there's still a massive amount of love for football in the country.
Yeah, okay. You're all nodding, agree. Any other comments, Vic?
Yeah, I agree. I'm not excited for the World Cup this summer as well, actually. Like, I'm just like, yeah. So, yeah, go ahead, Sasha.
I was going to say, I actually agree with Jake. I think from a Pompey perspective and a Championship perspective, I still love football as much as I always have done, and a lot of people around me do as well. I think on an international level, I'm starting to care a lot less about international football. It just seems like such a separate entity from everything else. It just feels weird. It feels like I'm watching just some London Premier League team that I don't support sometimes, unless I'm in the beer garden watching England with my England shirt on. But that's different. And I think the Premier League, like Jake said, the gaps forming between, the Big Six and the rest of the league. And then you've got the existing gap between the Premier League and the Championship. They're kind of just their own thing at this point. And part of me I want to win the Championship, but I don't want to play in the Premier League. I just want to continue back in the Championship. It's weird.
Yeah. Okay. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And we read all your comments last week. It was brilliant. Just a big shout outs to some Christopher Reed, Paul McLaughlin, Christine, Michael Cotton, Tony Cox, Joe Wiseman. I loved all your comments last week on of course Bishop. Keep them coming. We do read every single one of them over our lunch breaks over the weeks as well. Nobody could help us out with Q though. No one answered our plea to get you through this next part. So I hope you've done your homework. A to Z of Pompey continues with the hardest letter we've done so far. Q, Phil, anything?
He's fat, he's round, he's worth £1 million. He's Mickey Quinn. I like Mickey Quinn back in the day. Good goal scorer. Scored quite a few goals for us. His goals helped get us back up to the first division after a long time out of it. So yeah, Mickey Quinn is quite a good memory for me.
All right. Okay, I'm not sure we're going to beat that, are we? But anybody got anything else? Thanks, Phil.
Yeah, I think Mickey Quinn. Yeah, I used to have a video when I was a kid, 501 great goals, because I never actually get to see him play before my time. But yeah, every Pompey goal on there was Mickey Quinn, so I was going to say him as well.
Okay. Anything else? No quarterfinals. No
I was going to say the boys convinced me to say quarterfinal, so I was going to say quarterfinal against Man United. Stop that. Arguably one of the best Man United teams winning the treble. So yeah, I give a shout out to that quarterfinal against Man United.
Okay. All right, but Mickey Quinn gets in the A to Z. Right, good news is then our S&T coming up in future weeks will be a lot more straightforward. to think about before we hit the U, V, X, and Ys and Zs. But yes, a nice dream street for a little bit. Right, good luck against Wrexham, and good luck this weekend. I forgot against Hull, of course, and we'll see you in 7 days' time, hopefully, maybe with another 6 points on the board. And just think, if we'd have beaten Preston, which we should have done, and beaten Sheffield United, which we should have done, we'd be safe already, wouldn't we? And talking about playoffs. Scary, scary times. Catch you next week.